Gykores, you will quickly see how the numbers are going to go up. You will quickly see how the numbers are going to go up. Okay, see this part now, for example, these here. So today, I really want to talk about something I've talked about before, and that is the issue of Victor Gykores. Today, I want to show you the reasons why Victor Gykores is very important to us now. Right? If you're an Arsenal supporter, if you do not understand why or how Victor Gykores is useful to your squad, it is quite shameful. Because nowadays, a lot of important metrics are only measured by the number of goals you have. But, judging by the managers that I'm going to be playing their video, that is Mikel Arteta as well as Luis Enrique, you would see that a lot can be done besides scoring goals. So I'm going to be starting today's video, of course, with this tweet that we can see on the screen. This is going to be our starting. And this tweet from the Football Era says that when Arteta said he signed Victor Gykores, a striker that stays high and occupies the box, as opposed to dropping deep / drifting wide to help him against low blocks, right? There was outrage on Twitter because people think you need to be a ball to fit striker to be useful against low blocks. So this is quite a very insightful tweet, right? You see, this tweet really talks about the need for every player, why every player fits a different profile. Now, I'm not going to be stopping at this tweet only, right? I'm not going to be stopping at this tweet only. First, I'm going to be playing this Mikel Arteta video. I want you to, really, really hear this video, listen to this video. Then we look at Luis Enrique's video. We look at the metrics of why Victor Gykores is very important to us now. So stay tuned.
And you've had Kai come back. I'll ask you about styles of centre forwards. Gabby J's played a few starts this season. In fact, when he started it against Palace, it was the highest expected goals that you've recorded in a single game. Tends to be a centre forward that kind of drops in and helps with build-up. Do you think that under your style system that's the type of centre forward that flourishes the most at the moment?
So this that the journalist has just asked is how Arsenal has been playing over time before Victor Gykores comes in, right? This is important for what I'm going to talk about in the future in this video. Last season, previous season, this exactly has how Arsenal has been playing. Gabriel sitting deep, right? Trying to get the ball and move it forward, putting the ball at his feet. Also, Kai Havertz does the same thing, and they have just asked Mikel Arteta the question. So he's about to respond now.
Depending on the position. If we play against a very low block and you have a 9 that drops and you have no presence in the box, so I think every position requires a different analysis and qualities, but Gabi's is not only to drop as well, he has many other like Victor and Kai.
You see, this is why I think Arsenal fans should be very grateful for having Mikel Arteta. He understands every profile and he understands exactly what he needs as at when due. Fine, Gabriel Jesus might have been injured for a very, very long time, but they are players of different profile, depending on the kind of team that you play. And as a matter of fact, if you have watched Arsenal matches this season, everything that has played Arsenal has sat on a low block. Because they know Arsenal would have to hurt you one way or the other. And that is the reason why Arsenal has scored more corners than everybody, because they are equally deadly in that area as well. So when a team is sitting down on a low block because they know they are playing a high press team that wants to press, team that wants to score, team that wants to be in ball possession, that is where players like Victor Gykores comes in. So that they are able to help you break down this low block. They are able to help you, navigate your ways around these low blocks. I hope you get what I'm saying. So you need to really understand the positions of this player. You need to understand. So now I'm going to be moving on to these statistics here. Let me play the stats first. So just like I said, last season, just before we had Victor Gykores in the squad, this was Arsenal versus deep / mid block teams, last season, with strikers that drop deep. Now, strikers that drop deep are, Havertz, Gabriel Jesus, and whoever we had as a striker at that time. Now, see here, we have against Newcastle, we lost that match. Against Bournemouth, we lost that match. Against Fulham, draw. Everton, draw. Villa, draw. Right? West Ham, we had a loss. And Palace, we had a draw. So when you look at all of these things, right, you would now, because I'm going to show you the one for this season as well, you would now really have to, you have a rethink about why strikers that drop deep, is different from a striker that stays up front. And that is the advantage Alan has. But what makes Alan better than Victor Gykores this season is the fact that, he has people that are playing for him. I'm going to get there. And that is what Ari Redknapp talked about in his own video. That is what Ari Redknapp talked about. So I'm going to actually get to that video as well. But look at this first. Do you now understand that last season, we lost or drew some matches, and this season, see what exactly, has happened. Let me show you that right here. So you would see here that Arsenal versus deep/mid-block team this season with Victor Gykores as a striker that stays high and occupy the box. So he won Newcastle, we won Bournemouth, Fulham, Everton, West Ham, Villa, Palace. These are the matches that Arsenal conveniently won this season, as against last season where they either had a draw or they lost. Because what Victor Gykores has been able to do is that, staying up front, right, is drawing some defenders to himself, allowing the midfielders to do a lot of work, allowing Bukayo Saka enough time, the wingers to do a lot of things. They do not really have that luxury before. It's easier for a defender to follow, a striker, right, up almost to the midfield. Because you see, these things are things that would, reduce the press that you give to a team at every point in time. Now I'm going to be showing you this video from Luis Enrique, right? Luis Enrique really talked about it as well. So let's have a listen.
I am not very happy with Kylian today.
Je suis pas vraiment content de Kylian aujourd'hui.
Why? Because managers are so strange. I think Kylian about goals. I don't have to say.
Sur les buts, j'ai rien à dire.
But I think he can help the team much in a different way. Because
he is so peut être meilleur.
I am going to tell him first.
Je vais lui regarder d'abord.
I never tell to
et
you
je vous dirai pas
because it's not public.
Parce que c'est pas public.
We think Kylian is one of the top players in the world.
No doubt about that. Kylian est un des meilleurs joueurs du monde.
But we
Aucun
need
doute.
More.
On a besoin de plus.
We want him doing more things.
On veut que lui fasse des choses.
So Kylian Mbappe, of course, we all know Kylian Mbappe is one of the best. In fact, if not the best, he's one of the best. At scoring goals and doing all of these things. But do they actually stay in position? Do they actually stay in because there are many other things you can do for your team besides scoring goals, and that is exactly what Victor Gykores has brought. If Man City peradventure should miss what's his name now for a while, Haaland for a while for a couple of matches. The fact that Arsenal has 6 points ahead of them right now can easily go to 12 points. Easily. Because they have a team that is largely dependent on, Haaland to score goals. On the other hand, Arsenal as a team, where everybody can actually do things. Everybody can actually score goals. Not to waste your time, let me go to this last video. This is how I'm going to be ending this video, right? I want to play Ari Redknapp. I think this is one of the most important videos that you have to listen to.
This was a good night for him, exceptional night. But I can imagine, and I can't lie, I wasn't watching him at Sporting every single week, but a lot of the time, the crosses he would have been getting, with the system they played with two wing-backs, predominantly would have been a right-footed right wing-back and a left-footed left wing-back. So he gets crosses, once that ball gets wide, they're coming into him, and he knows he can make that first run across the post and get in there. When he plays for Arsenal, the major problem is Bukayo Saka plays on the right, he's left-footed.
Yes.
Martinelli, the same. He wants to cut back on his right foot. So when Bukayo Saka gets into that position to start with, instead of firing it across the face, he wants to chop back. So that's where the frustration comes, Jim.
So this actually happens after the Chelsea Arsenal match. There are talk that Victor Gykores was obviously angry, wasn't excited about the fact that the balls were not coming to him. So this is how Ari Redknapp has painted it, right? Because we can all see it. On the other hand, for Manchester City, now they have Semenyo, they try to play to the strength of Haaland. And that is why Haaland has as many goals as they can. It's not to say that Doku cannot score. It's not to say that now Semenyo, who has even been scoring, he scored in his first match. And even Silva, it's not that all of these guys cannot score. But mostly they try to play to the strength of Haaland, right? Haaland also is not a player that drops deep. He stays up front, tries to receive the ball. But the only difference is in the case of Bukayo Saka holds the ball, try to cut in, try to shoot. Trossard holds the ball, try to cut in, try to shoot. And in that Chelsea match where Ben White was actually able to deliver a cross inside of the box, we had a goal. We had a goal from Gykores, and eventually at the end of the day, Gykores ended up winning the man of the match. So this is what Arsenal fans need to understand, and this is where this conversation is coming from. A lot of Arsenal fans allow them to be gaslighted by media, by Talksport, by the fact that Victor Gykores is not scoring enough goals. Victor Gykores is doing the work of two players at a time. Now we have Avad back. We have Gabriel Jesus back. They can have higher XGs, right? They can carry the balls. They can do this. They can do that. But what is the conversion rate? How many goals are they going to end up scoring? So if peradventure we have supplies to Gykores, if Arsenal can start delivering supplies to Gykores, you will quickly see how the numbers are going to go up. You will quickly see how the numbers are going to go up. Okay, see this part now, for example. This year, you know, are the matches that Victor Gykores didn't start or play this season at all. So Sunderland draw, Villa away, loss. As I this Villa match and even Sunderland match, I remember very well that we talked about the fact that Victor Gykores was absent. Villa was able to press up high. Their defenders, all of them were pushing up. Meanwhile, if Gykores was on the pitch, that would never have been possible. And again, against Sunderland, if Victor Gykores was also on the pitch, they would not move that up high. They will leave some men behind because they know they have Victor Gykores, a standing line at the back. So guys, this is the video for now. Please remember to drop your comment. I want to hear from you. I'm trying to talk by what I think is the reality, right? I'm not trying to fantasize anything. I want to hear your honest opinion. I want to hear from you. And also remember that, as I'm growing my YouTube channel, if you have watched my video, just do me that favor now and like and subscribe to my channel. It costs you nothing. It costs you absolutely nothing to do. I'm going to be seeing you in the next video. Thank you guys.